Listen to this. A few years ago, then Representative Paul Broun, a Republican in Georgia, and he's a dentist, right, Kathy? He's not. He got defeated, I think. He's not a representative now, but he delivered some rather amazing remarks in which he described pillars of modern science, including evolutionary biology and the Big Bang, as quite literally, quote, lies straight from the pit of hell. Lies straight from the pit of hell. Woo! So the House Republican leaders were so impressed with his half-wit that they made him a member of the House Science Committee. Of course, that's what Republicans do. Now, as it turns out, that same year, Republican presidential hopeful Ben Carson, Ben Casey Carson, doctor, delivered remarks that were strikingly similar, BuzzFeed reported. In a speech delivered in 2012, Ben Casey Carson said the Big Bang Theory was part of the, quote, fairy tales pushed by, Carson's words, high-faluting scientists as a story of creation. Similarly, Dr. Ben Casey Carson, who wants to be the President of the United States and who right now I guess is number 2 in the polls in the Republican mashup, Carson said he believed the theory of evolution was encouraged by the devil. Jesus Christ. I mean, the guy is a neurosurgeon. Oh, well, never mind. Steve Bennett says, I wish I could say that's an exaggerated description, but it's really not. The retired right-wing neurosurgeon, known for his off-the-wall ideas about a great number of issues, called the science surrounding the Big Bang ridiculous and added in reference to evolution, quote, I personally believe that this theory that Darwin came up with was something that was encouraged by the adversary. Now, in context, in the language, the adversary is Satan. We'll be right back. Addressing his weird views yesterday, Dr. Ben Casey Carson said, quote, I'm not going to denigrate you because of your faith, and you shouldn't denigrate me for mine. And that's the kind of attitude, that's the kind of attitude that I think is very important in the society in which we live today, end quote. Well, if that's his response, that's ridiculous. A leading national candidate for president wants the American public to elect him even though he rejects, I mean, how many fields of science are involved with both the Big Bang Theory or some similar theory, but certainly not what you find in Genesis, A, B, and how many branches of science are based upon or parallel evolution, survival of the fittest, natural selection. I can't think of one that doesn't. Name a science for me, please, Dr. Ben Casey Carson. Any science that is based on, in the beginning, God, etc., etc., etc. There is none. Not one. So this freak wants us to believe that he's capable of leading a country, any country, in a scientific, oh, Jesus, what's the point? This is a part that is so distracting to me. This in itself should be a disqualifying characteristic for this fruitcake. I mean, it really should. Steve Bennett says, Carson seemed to suggest yesterday that his bizarre beliefs are somehow off limits. To notice a presidential candidate's weird ideas, he says, is to denigrate the man who talked about those ideas publicly. Really? Without doing the name calling that I do and the lousy, rotten language that I used, let's supposing I were a well-spoken individual, and I would say, well, Dr. Carson, what you are saying is utterly and absolutely, not only is it without foundation in the physical world in which we all live, but it is, gee, Dr. Carson, I'm not sure if I can find the right word. Let me check with Malloy. Hey, Malloy, what is the word? You asking me? Yeah, what's the word for hold on. I've got the word right here. I can't say it on the air, but I can show it on our video stream. That's what I call somebody who does not believe in natural selection or evolution, whatever you want to call it, and someone who believes the creation of everything was by the sky spook in 7 days. That's what I would call him. Now, of course, I can't say I can't say that on the air, or I would I'd get in trouble. Anyway, these are your campaigners who want to be nominated to be the presidential candidate for the Republican Party. These kinds of freaks. When you consider the number 1, number 2, and number 3, that would be Trump, Carson, Fiorina. Put them in, shuffle around, put them in any order you want to put them in. But those 3, all of whom, by their own words, have demonstrated that they are truly moronic.